Observing such an event would be exciting in terms of our understanding of the universe, but it would also be completely safe.
It is extremely unlikely that black holes will be created at the Large Hadron Collider.
And if we're smart enough, we can dive into them and grab their resources and pull them back into ours.
Have you experienced the Mandela Effect? In this episode, we will go over a variety of new Mandela effects being discussed online.
Video games have become a $4 billion a year business, and a great many children, as you parents know, have put them on their Christmas lists.
One of the most vicious games is called Mortal Kombat. Barry Rhodes bought the game anyway, since it takes a special code to activate the violent scenes, which he says are a part of life.
We now require warning labels on toys that can potentially damage children's bodies. Why not do so on a toy that can damage their minds?
It's there, so I'm not going to try to hide my daughter from that.
Critics, including the National PTA, say such video games contribute to violence in real life. And television's Captain Kangaroo says parents are not paying enough attention.
Understand that these are not harmless toys, that they can indeed cause great emotional and other damage to a child.
Yes.
If you had to say a famous video game character, I bet most of you would say Mario. There is no doubt that his jaunty charm and Italian voice can be conjured up inside all of our minds.
Hey, paisanos, it's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
If you didn't grow up with the original NES, then you missed out on Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3. But most 90s kids remember the excellence of Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. Introducing new moves, suits, and characters, this Mandela Effect has us looking at one of those new and now infamous additions, Yoshi, and is brought to us by longtime friend of the channel and Mandela Effect expert, Tararito.
Yoshi has a shell.
Some images, it's difficult to tell exactly what it is on the back of the rippin' reptile. Do you recall Yoshi having a shell? And if he has always had a shell, then what is this? A saddle?
No, it's his saddle, not a shell. He is ridden by Mario in Super Mario World. Yoshi is without a shell. Check the original Super Mario World game book. The smaller baby Yoshi have no saddle attached to them.
Saddle? That's no saddle. It's dome-shaped and looks about as much like a saddle as a saddle looks like a bowl, sir. That is a shell.
That's a shell. Dinosaurs don't come out of their egg wearing a saddle. Check your science, bro.
They also don't come out of eggs wearing f***ing boots.
Yeah, bro, do you even science?
How to cow tip. Cow tipping is legendary.
When thinking about that old McDonald farm life, I bet you would think about cows and pushing them over. The art of cow tipping was waiting until the dead of night and sneaking up on the cows while they slept. Because the cows sleep standing up, you could push on the side of them, tipping them right over. But in this reality, cow tipping is no longer possible. And to many, it never was possible due to the physics or the strength needed. And apparently cows do not sleep standing up?
I'm 50, and when I was young, my friends asked me if I want to go cow tipping. I asked, what's cow tipping, and they explained it to me. They owned the farm and said they did it all the time. They said they would wait for the cows to go to sleep and sneak up on them and push them over. But we had to be careful because there was also a bull in the field. It wasn't my kind of fun, but I specifically remember the invite. I'm 57, grew up in a small town called Avenel in California. When we were kids, we went cow tipping all the time.
Is it only because of films we know of this and no one ever tried cow tipping before? If you have a cow tipping experience, please share it in the comments. I'm sure all of us would love to hear about it. This update brings us new residue dealing with the Queen song, "We Are the Champions," and how the song no longer ends with "of the world" while slowly fading out. I have covered the carpool clip and the Mighty Ducks ending in other episodes, but we have more residue in a little place called South Park.
Hi, I just watched an episode of South Park. It was the Stanley Cup episode. The Queen song, "We Are the Champions," was playing. It had the original version of the song playing with the ending still intact, with the whole "We are the champions of the world."
If you have any residue, post it in the comments and be a part of the residue crew.
Saturday marked the first time in decades millions of Americans woke up without cartoons.
I watch Saturday cartoons every Saturday morning if I could.
Luckily for me and many others, we were able to watch a cartoon renaissance in real time. From non-stop Disney bangers, wacky original shows, and two of the greatest animated series of all time. Cartoons were so popular that filmmakers wanted in on the craze. Steven Spielberg would fund two of the most popular cartoons of the 90s under his production company, Abilene. He would act as executive producer and partners with Warner Brothers, giving the showrunner and senior producer title to Tom Ruegger. His first goal was a reboot of the Looney Tunes titled Tiny Toons Adventures, and this show absolutely slapped.
You can be my puppy, and we'll play together every day now.
Okay, real quick, I would like to point out that a remake of the Looney Tunes, which many people remember being spelled with two O's, as in crazy cartoons, but is spelled Toons, as in Looney music, but then Tiny Toons is spelled with T-O-O-N and not T-U-N-E-S. But if it's a play on the original, would it not make more sense to spell it like the original? Did Steven Spielberg or Tom Ruegger create this title because they remember the original spelling being Toons and not Toons? And now this show is in fact residue and or proof of the Mandela Effect? Before I went any further, I had to take a moment to point this out and let me know what you think. Back to the show.
Now back to the show.
The Animaniacs. This is where we find our latest Mandela Effect. Many people may remember the many different characters and shows within the Animaniacs, one of them being so popular that it would spawn its own Saturday morning spin-off series, Pinky and the Brain. Locked up lab rats that have been experimented on, one a super genius and the other a charming doofus. But what if I told you the Brain never said, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?"
Whew. Oh, I'd say the odds of that are terribly slim, Brain.
True. That's right. It's "Are you pondering what I'm pondering?" which is not what people remember, and why this Mandela Effect is resonating with so many of them.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering, Pinky? Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Also, if you made it this far, I want to say thank you. I make these videos by myself and they take a lot of time, so I do appreciate you watching. And if you are not yet subscribed, then please hang out here more often by clicking that red subscribe button for future content.
Well, he's entertained queens and kings.
This is the first time that she has left her home in 5 years to go out in public.
No, but I am definitely heterosexual, I guess you could say.
This final Mandela Effect deals with a tragic story in television history. Talk shows were one of the few ways to see real people with real issues on daytime TV. Phil Donahue, Jerry Springer, Oprah Winfrey, Sally Jesse Raphael, and so many more. This has us looking at the infamous 1995 episode of Jenny Jones. Scott Amador came on the show to reveal his secret admirer, who he had a crush on, named Jonathan Schmitz. While on the show, Jonathan laughs uncomfortably and keeps his composure. 3 days after the show, Jonathan killed Scott due to an overwhelming feeling of embarrassment and because he didn't want his family and friends to think he was gay. It was major news at the time and brought a spotlight into the reality of these shows and how safe they were for the guests appearing on them. That brings us to these two new Mandela Effects dealing with this horrific event. Many people remember this tragedy being so significant that the Jenny Jones show was canceled shortly after in the year 1995. But in this reality, the show ran until 2003. As far as the episode itself, many people recall watching the episode when it aired on television. But now the only way to watch it is through the bits of footage released during the trial. But people swear they saw the full episode in 1995. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to send the like button to an alternate universe, and let me know down below if any of these Mandela effects made you question your reality, and could we be living in a simulation?